Hi everyone, this is just a short flow, so you can use it as a warm-up perhaps before you go out for a walk or out for a run, or maybe you've just woken up and you want to do a little bit of movement before you get on with the rest of your day. So come and lay on your back, feet flat on the floor, knees are bent, or maybe heel toe the feet out and allow the knees to fall in together. Upper body's nice and relaxed, eyes can be closed. And then just allow the back of the head, the shoulder blades, the back of the hips to rest down into the mat. And relaxing the arms, the shoulders. And just a few of your natural breaths here. And just bring your focus, your awareness on the breath flowing in and out of the nose. And if you find your mind drifting to what you need to do for the rest of the day, just without judging, slowly bring it back, bringing awareness back to the breath. Slowly float one foot off the floor and the other foot off the floor. Knees roughly in line with the hips, placing the hands on the knees and gently circle the hips, the knees. Upper body relaxed, nice and slow, small range of movement. Doesn't matter which direction you're going in. Feet are relaxed. It's nice and easy. Slowly change direction. And just give those knees a gentle hug in, nice and easy. Float one foot down and then the other. Set your base. Feet about hip width apart, weight even throughout the feet. Pelvis is in neutral, so the hip bones are roughly level. So you've just got that natural curve in the lower back. So we don't want to be pressing the lower back down to the floor, creating a pelvic tilt. And we don't want that lower back to be overly arched, so you're tilting the pelvis down, pubic bone down. Upper body nice and relaxed. Arms can be down by the side of your body. You can rest the heel of the hands on your hips if that feels comfortable for you. Gently activate the core, so either think about scooping up and in, or zipping up, or just drawing into the midline, not too tight. Leg floats, starting with the right foot. Take a nice deep breath in, nice long easy exhale. Core is on, float that right foot off the floor. Slowly float the right foot down. Working with your own range of movement. The movement is coming from the hip joint. Knees coming roughly in line with that left hip. Right side. Slowly float it down. And left. Slowly float it down. Right. Check that that core's on, pelvis is still in neutral. So as you activate the core, just making sure you don't tilt that pelvis at all. Right. And left. You have the option now to add in an arm flow. So left arm, right leg. Working with your own range of movement with the arms. So if it feels a little bit uncomfortable to bring it up as high as I am, and my fingertips, wrists and elbows align with my shoulder, then don't do that. Just work with whatever feels comfortable for you this morning. Just keep that core activated. Nice easy breaths. And the movements are nice and slow and controlled. Let's do 2 more each side. And when you've done your 2, we'll meet up in neutral spine, upper body relaxed. Coming into a low bridge. Pelvis in neutral, core is activated. Activate both glutes, slowly float the hips off the floor, maybe an inch, maybe a little bit higher, whichever feels comfortable with that lower back. Push down through the feet. Check that you're not rolling onto the outside edge of the feet, that big toe man staying in contact with the floor. Weight is even, knees in the direction of the toes. Pelvis is neutral, glutes are on. Core is activated, neck and shoulders are relaxed, holding it here. And then a small pulse for 8. So 1, squeeze those glutes for 2, squeeze for 3, squeeze for 4. It's a small movement, squeeze for 5, for 6, for 7, for 8, hold it here. And then very slowly lower the hips back down towards the floor. Come back to that neutral spine and repeat that one more time. Activate the core, activate the glutes, low bridge, check that the pelvis is neutral, check the weight's even in both feet, that you're not rolling to the outside edge of the feet. Core on, glutes on, small pulse for 1, activate the glutes for 2, for 3, for 4, for 5, for 6, for 7, for 8, hold it here. Slowly lower down. And then just gently hug the right knee in, the left knee in. And then just gently circle the ankles. Change direction. And then float one foot down, the other foot down. Curl to whichever side feels comfortable for you. And we're going to meet up in tabletop. Check in your base. Shoulders are over the wrists. Spread the fingers wide. Push down through the finger pads. Try not to lock out those fingers. Knees are underneath the hips. Pelvis in neutral. Shoulder blades are in neutral, so they're on the back of the rib cage. Lovely long neck, so you're not dipping the head down or jutting the chin up. Gently activate the core, not too tight. Check that you haven't tilted the pelvis. Mild tension, and we're going to hold that. So we're going to inhale for 1. Nice long exhale, keep that tension. Inhale for 2. For 3. And for 4. And then very slowly, just bring the right foot forward. Bring it wide to the mat. So my little toes on the outside edge of my mat. Hands are in underneath my shoulders, in line with my foot. Maybe you need to adjust that left foot as well. And just gently circle at the hips. Nearly lunge hip circles. And you have the option, if you need to bring the arms further apart. Maybe make the hip circle a little bit bigger if it feels comfortable for you. And then maybe you find that you're rolling in and out on that right foot. That's fine. Check in with the breath, nice and easy. And then slowly change direction, maybe start off with a small range of movement, checking in with how you're feeling here, and then maybe slowly start to make that range of movement a little bit bigger. And then slowly come back to centre. Slowly come all the way up to a kneeling lunge, kneeling crescent, maybe heel toe that right foot back in. Check that that pelvis is in neutral. Pushing down through the top of the left foot, push down through the bottom, the sole of the right foot. And then slowly bring the arms up, fingertips point up towards the ceiling. Activate the core, left glute is on. Lifting up. A gap between the bottom of the ribs and the hip bones. And on your next exhale, hinging forward. Slowly come back to tabletop. Set your base. Shoulders over wrists. Pelvis in neutral. Shoulder blades in neutral. Lengthen the neck. Remember, it's part of the spine. Activate the core, not too tight, holding it for 4 breaths if that feels comfortable for you. I'm on breath number 2. I'm on my last breath. And I'm slowly bringing that left foot forward, bringing the left little toe towards the outside edge of that mat. Hands are underneath my shoulders to start off with, roughly in line with my foot. Slowly start to hip circle, maybe adjust that right knee if you need to, maybe bring the hands out a little bit wider. Start off with a small circle and gradually make it a little bit bigger if that feels comfortable. And I'm circling, my left foot is rolling onto the outside edge and then back in, which is fine. And each side may feel slightly different, and then slowly change direction. Slowly come back to centre, and then slowly come all the way up to your kneeling crescent. Maybe heel toe that left foot in a little bit more, pushing down through the top of the right foot, pushing down through the bottom of the left foot. Pelvis is in neutral, right glute is on, core is activated. Slowly float the fingertips all the way up to the ceiling. Check in with the breath. Exhale, hip hinge all the way down. Slowly come to tabletop. From here, tuck the toes, core is on. Lift the hips up and back. First down dog, bending those knees to a bent knee down dog. Checking that you're spreading the fingers wide, arms are maybe about shoulder width apart. You're pushing up through the arms, lengthening out the armpits. Hips are high, knees are bent. Don't worry about the heels touching the floor, they may never touch the floor. The weight's even through both hands, both feet, head and neck is nice and relaxed. On your next exhale, slowly lower the knees to the floor. Come back to tabletop. Slowly extend the right leg out. Hold it here, check that the hips are level. Activate the right glute, slowly float the right toes off the floor. If that feels too much, just bend that right knee, sole of the foot facing up towards the ceiling, your choice. Slowly float the toes back to the floor, right knee, right hip. Core is on, lengthen out that left leg. Activate the left glute, float the toes off the floor, check that the hips are level. Option to bend at that left knee, flex the foot. Slowly lengthen out that left leg, lower the toes to the floor. Bring the knee underneath that left hip, hold it here. Tuck the toes, core is on. Float the knees off the floor, knee hover, and then push the hips up and back. Down dog, check in your base, head and neck are nice and relaxed, and maybe just gently lengthen out one leg, bend the other leg, Walking your dog nice and slow. Or just come into your bent knee down dog, whichever's working for you this morning, depending on how stiff you may be feeling. Just nice and slow. Checking that the weight's even between the hands and the feet, pushing up through the arms, making that inverted V shape. Slowly come to stillness. Bend the knees if there's any rounding in that lower back. And on your next exhale, slowly lower the knees to the floor. Adjust your position. We're coming into a 3/4 plank. So knees are down, shoulders are stacked over the wrist, pelvis in neutral. Activate the core, activate the glutes. Pelvis in neutral, shoulder blades are in neutral. Next in line with the rest of the spine. Slowly start to bend the elbows, point the elbows back, lowering down in one piece all the way down to the floor. Hands are underneath the shoulders, tops of the feet in contact with the mat and the pubic bone. Take a nice long inhale, and as you exhale, feel the ribcage soften. Inhale, lengthen the spine, slowly come up into a baby cobra. Pull back on that mat rather than pushing down through the hands. Keep the length in the spine. Try not to lift the head up, staying in this low baby cobra. Glutes are on, core is on, tops of the feet, pubic bone in contact with the floor. As you exhale, soften down, tuck the toes, core is on, glutes on, push up to your 3/4 plank. And then from here, hips up and back, down dog. Your choice of down dog, maybe swaying the hips from side to side, maybe staying still, maybe walking that dog out. Just check that base, check that the head and neck are nice and relaxed, making that inverted V. On your next exhale, slowly lower the knees to the floor, 3/4 plank. Shoulder blades in neutral, pelvis in neutral, glutes are on, core is on, shoulders are over the wrist, and then slowly bend the elbows, stay broad across the collarbone, elbows point back, slowly come down, tops of the feet, pubic bone. Inhale, pull back with that mat, baby cobra. Feel the rib cage expand. As you exhale, feel the rib cage soften. Inhale, rib cage expands. Exhale, feel the rib cage soften. On your next exhale, soften down, tuck the toes, push all the way up to your 3/4 plank. Hold it here. Core on, glutes are on, hips up and back, down dog. 5 breaths here in this down dog. You can stay still, perhaps move, whichever works for you. Inhale for 2. Two more breaths. Last inhale. And on your next exhale, just gently look between the hands, slowly walk the feet towards the hands, coming into halfway lift, bending those knees, hinging from the hips, keep that spine nice and long, looking down towards the floor. Bring the hands either to the thighs or the lower legs, slowly keep the core activated, slowly hip hinge all the way up, using the backs of the legs, the hamstrings, squeeze the glutes at the top. Bring the feet back hip width apart. Slowly float the arms up, fingertips point up towards the ceiling. Pushing your weight down even through both feet. Soften the knees, pelvis in neutral, activate the core. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, side bend to the left. Checking that the hips are level. Check the weight's even on both sides. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Hips are level, weights even on both feet. Just checking with that neck, making sure it feels comfortable. Inhale, slowly come back. Exhale, slowly bring the hands down through to heart center. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale out through the mouth. 2 more. Last one. Well done. So now it's time to pop those trainers on, go out for that brisk walk or your run, or maybe come down to the floor, take a few breaths, and perhaps do a minute or two of meditation. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you soon. Bye.